Thank you, Mike. Thank you, PRC. Hello, everybody. I'm Adrian from LW, and I'm going to be talking to you about what we feel are the hospitality trends for 2020 and beyond. Just to give you an update, those of you who don't know us, should know us, as Mike said, we are based in Hong Kong, headquartered in Dubai, and have global offices. Here we have our Dubai and our Hong Kong studios, and a few location pins if you want to visit us around the world. So, hotels and the future. This is a quote from Antonio Catalan, who leads CA Hotels in Spain. Hotels have the opportunity to be something better than a home. And that is true. Who can say how much fun they've had in a hotel, or how much fun they've had at home, or vice versa. And also, hotels should serve as an escape, an oasis from the mundane, a place that removes the friction of normal life, and I think that's fantastic. Hotel operators do tidy up after you, they give you room service, but make sure you're not disturbed, so that's not bad in removing the friction of everyday life. Now, that's where sort of what we want a hotel to be, but let's talk about the future of hotels, and also what has been probably one of the most disruptive or influential or controversial elements of hospitality today, our dear friends Airbnb. The amount of people who are choosing a homestay experience versus a branded or a hospitality experience is vast. The numbers speak for themselves, and I would imagine most people in this building have probably had an Airbnb experience. So based on my last quotes about removing the friction from everyday life, what does Airbnb do? It gives you back your life again, but in somebody else's home. But then you have a different experience, you have a touch of local colour. So how do you combine the removing of friction and having local colour? Now then, I think these new boys on the block have all pegged into that. They are the new lifestyle brands, what we're seeing today, and I believe this is where we're going to see hospitality going in the next 20 years. We're talking a local experience, an individual experience, an urban base camp, but also with seamless hospitality skills and room service. I mean, we all want a bit of room service. So, now the next question, are you millennial or are you millennial minded? You know, the idea that we're millennial means we're a certain age bracket, which I guess puts me out of that age bracket. But are you millennial minded? I think most people are today. You know, we're embracing technology, we're free to think of new ideas, the new family, how we work, are we co-working, are we working in an office? We're probably millennial minded versus being millennial. And I think that's a very good mantra to think. Millennial minded, you're never old, you're always young in your mind. Now, here we go, another quote. Being millennial is a state of wanting more out of life, which includes work and pursuing opportunities that allow you to achieve it. And I think if you think back to the Airbnb experience of having a homestay, being millennial-minded, the whole geography of hospitality is changing before our very eyes. We're in a period of unprecedented change. Right, so the unprecedented change goes to, I think, for designers and operators to understand who those people are. Who are the millennial-minded? Who are the people who want to stay in these lifestyle brands? And really, really target that niche. So I think the trend will be to look at, these are buzzwords that we have, global nomad. A guest, are you an explorer, are you a tourist? Who is the person who's staying in your hotel? What are they looking to achieve? How do they see themselves in that space? And if you understand that niche market, you really, really can deliver a property or a product that appeals to that market, and then it's a win-win scenario. Right, so let's look at what it's going to look like. I love the phrase looking back to look forward, and as we're all aware, everything mid-century is hip and everything Scandinavian. And this little bit of Scandinavian goes back to our roots at LW. We are Scandinavian founded company. And this is the very famous Charles and Ray Eames house in the States. It was one of their project houses, case study houses. Now, if you look at that space, that's in the 50s, 60s. That is not too far away from what hotel lobbies in lifestyle branded properties are looking like. So this is not a new look, but we're going back to this simplicity of design, this authenticity in the materials, and we are reinventing it for today. Right, this is another bit of Scando property guide. Hygge, which is pronounced Hygge. It's the Danish ritual of enjoying life's simple pleasures of friends, family, and graciousness. And I think this is where hospitality is going to. It's taking it out of a product which feels very artificial and making it feel much more real, which then I bring back to the Airbnb of the homestay and the millennial mind. It is combining more of what we want to do in life and being able to do it in the way that we want to do it. Candles are because we all look great under candlelight. Right. Colour, shape and texture, how are we seeing what this is going to evolve into, what's it going to look like? So I'm sure what you will come to see. So this is a quote from Ilse Crawford, one of the luminaries of hospitality design around the world, and this is regarding the Cathay Pacific Lounge that has been built at Hong Kong International Airport and airports around the world. And if any of you have been to the lounge, it is a superb example of where I think contemporary hospitality design is. There's been a tendency in lounge design and so many public space design to think of the luxury experiences in the abstract as something aesthetic. They tend to have a wow factor in broad strokes, but rarely do they address human needs and feel as good in reality as they look. Now we all know designer stuff can look fabulous, but you can't sit on it, you can't get out of it, or you can't wear it, or it's small, or it's uncomfortable. And I think that's something we have to address as we move forward. So colour, shape and texture. These are colour palettes. This is what we are looking at forecasting now for the next 5 years. It's introducing colour. It's introducing colour in a muted, aged way. I want to use the word dusty, but I'm not sure that's the right word to use. These sort of softer colours. The feather, I think, really represents femininity, flowingness. And then some of this, the sunset on the water, these coral colours, you know, not to the 80s maybe, bringing those back in softer, more desaturated tones. And then shape. I love this one of the headphones and the iPhone, because that's what everybody's doing in Hong Kong. We're all walking on the streets, you know, doing this. And everything is softer, it's curved, has a feminine element. I love the arches that are upholstered in velvet here. And the matte stone on the table. Everything is moving away from being shiny and reflective. It has a beautiful, tactile, but almost human quality. And then more about materials. We've got a real mix of materials coming in. We've got stone and leather, we've got matte stone with metal, we've got enamels and other plastics we've joined together. So it really is a mix of so many things together. Almost you could say anything goes, but only unless it's done by a designer who is amazing. Now the next big trend obviously is the ever-present, ever-ubiquitous Wi-Fi. How many people have always asked for a Wi-Fi code somewhere? I think technology will in effect disappear. It will be with us, but we won't see it. We'll be connected through our Apple iPhones, our phones, our tablets, and it'll just go and it'll be seamless. And that I think is going to be fantastic. But, I mean, who needs to have all of this stuff plug in? You just want to charge it, buy a remote, and always be connected. Right. What does the hotel of the future look like? How's it going to function? I mentioned the Airbnb, the mind, and the local experience. So I want to really focus on what I see is the next growth segment, which is the lifestyle. And I think they're going to be comprised of the lobby, the guest room, and then the F&B. They are going to be, I don't know whether we're going to see that much shared space for banqueting or meetings. I think it's going to be much more pared down, much more streamlined. So this is the view of the lobby of the future. There is no check-in. You have your tablet or your phone or your watch, and the lobby looks like a restaurant or Charles and Ray Eat House. It is a social space, it's a social space to gather. Now, one of the feedback, the strong feedback that Airbnb has had of all of their guests is, whilst it's been an amazing local experience, it's been a very isolated experience. You've been in a home, somebody else's home, on your own. You haven't had a community. And I think the key that the lifestyle hotel brands have is to create that community in the shared space that you have. I think this image really depicts that you can come together as single travellers in these properties, but also having this very hip, very forward-thinking hospitality space. And then of course key cards and wandering yourself into the room is one. And then the hotel room, it is taking on that concept of being much more authentic, much more unbranded, and much more evolved. This is the bar, or the whatever it's going to be on the lobby, so we obviously need to have some absolutely rocking DJ there, pumping out the tunes. Is room service a plate of tapas now versus a burger? You know, is it a freshly squeezed or freshly cold pressed, I should say, cold pressed juice versus Chino? You know, it's much more about having what's accessible in the neighbourhood around the property available to you in the property. And of course, we all need a great cocktail bar. And well, what are you going to sleep in? Now, a nod to Atelier B with the capsule hotel. It's amazing what's happening now in lifestyle brands. Two of my colleagues have just come back from New York on an inspiration trip, and one of the hotels they were looking to stay in was a bunk bed hotel. Now, the last time I had bunk beds was at boarding school, which was a very long time ago, so don't even ask me. But can you believe they're coming back? They are the thing now. Bunk bedrooms, family rooms, or whatever you call them. It's happening, and it's probably going to be here to stay for a while. Because you can maximise your room inventory, pack in the guests, you appeal to a different cost demographic who don't need it. They're happy to bunk out, or a stag do, or a work room, whatever. And then you have the experience there, like the tree house, which is fantastic, amazing. You climb up a ladder, you get in a tree, brilliant. Or you crawled into a capsule and hopefully brought out guests. What else in the room? I think this is generally where we're all going with our food. Anything we consume within our body or we want to put on our body needs to be sustainable and most preferably organic. We all know what highly manufactured food products do to us and how bad they are. So I think this is a huge movement, along with sustainability and hospitality, is the organic cotton, sustainably sourced, it's organic amenities. Do you really want to wash yourself with something you don't even know what it is, but it looks nice with a long shower? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Which brings me to my next question, one of the big trends at the moment. We're all talking about authenticity. What does that really mean? Is it almost authentic? Is it authentic? How authentic? Is it just a nod to being authentic? I think that's the reason I put a question mark behind that is, do we really know the answer? I don't know how authentic the wooden floor in my recycled wood hotel may be, but authentic. Maybe it's, who knows. And then, you know, the idea of the concierge, I think that's also going to disappear. And looking back at some of the other leading brands in creating what we know as a lifestyle hotel. The Meridian created the LM100. They selected a global group of artisans and intellectuals to lead the style of the hotel from leading cuisine, art, soundscape, and smell. I think this was one of the first steps in creating this very unique, bespoke and curated experience. Another quote from AC Hotels in Spain, the Unpack Project. They've decided to unpack hospitality experience and really look at what it is you need from a concierge. Is it really necessary? You really need to know where's the best club, where's the best restaurant, right? And from the States, one hotel, they call it an urban base camp. So what does that mean? It means your environment, and it's not concierge, it's not going to book your flight for you, but it's going to tell you where the hippest in town to go, and where you want to get your Instagram photograph taken, and your login on Facebook. Right, so now then, just to close out, we've talked about what the hotel should look like. Now, who is going where? Who is going where? So we did a little bit of research into travel, particularly in this part of the region, and it is unbelievable what the figures are. So this is from the International Association of International Air Transport Association. They expect 7.2 billion passengers to travel in the year 2035, which is not far from now. But that's doubling, near doubling 3.8 billion air travelers. That is a lot of people moving around. So just think how many more people are going to see so much more and are going to need to stay somewhere and have different aspirations at different price points. Now if you look at the bottom line, China, another 817 million new passengers for China. That is a lot of people. That's a huge growth market. So it is just so exciting to think, what is that hotel in the future going to look like? Well, there's going to be a lot more of them because a lot more people are going to need to stay somewhere. So I close out with more about the future. Sorry. So what will the future look like? These are some of the things we need to think about. I think Atelier was saying, would we have thought that Britain would be leaving the European Union? So what will the future look like? Same-day cancer treatment. Let's hope. Self-driving cars. Cannabis is legalized. It's halfway there in America, in California. Commercial galactic travel. If Richard Branson has his way, or the UAE government have their way, we'll be flying into the skies sooner than we know. Renewable energy sources. I think we all need to pray for that and hope that happens really quickly. Virtual reality, a reality. I mean, it's coming. It's really coming. And humans, we're all going to live a lot longer. And 3D printed everything from your burger to your heart transplant. It's all coming. Another quote from yourself. So we wanted to make people feel as good as humanly possible in the pier. We wanted to make them feel healthy, with good fresh food, to ground them in rooms with natural materials, considered lighting, and with lots of plants and beautiful, comfortable furniture. I think we'd all want to be in an interior like that. One of our final statements, looking at what we've talked about, I think comfort is the way forward. Comfort is the new refinement, and lifestyle brands are the future of hospitality. Think of the possibilities and think of the adventures. To designers out there, it is fun times ahead. So, thank you, everybody.